Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. Reviews for this movie are surprisingly good. Actually, the best of the weekend, which is really weird to say. Um, Score is 81% critic score, no audience score listed here. The cinema score is a B minus, which sounds bad, but for horror standards, it's all right. It's quite all right. It's better than average because cinema score, they really hate horror movies. I don't know why, but they always have a rough time. I mean, Smile, for instance, last year that got a B minus. So the fact that it's on par with Smile, I say is a good thing because Smile, I think, is quite good. So yeah, so seems like critic reviews are very good. Rotten Tomatoes critics reviews are very good. Cinema score is good for its genre, so I'm labeling those as pros. Well, it's really one big pro is that word of mouth is good. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is this is from Eli Roth, and find him. There he is. This guy. He's made quite a few movies. A lot of nasty movies, to say the least. Cabin Fever, that was like his debut. Then there's Hostel Part 2. I mean, Hostel Part 2, that's a movie that one could argue is just straight sadism. Because I actually, well, I didn't rewatch the whole movie. I watched like certain parts of the movie. It's on YouTube. Fun fact, here's a little secret. You can watch Hostel Part 2 for free on YouTube. It's age restricted for obvious reasons, but you can watch it there. So just give me a little heads up. If unless you don't have a strong stomach, if you don't have a strong stomach, don't even go near the Hostel movies. But yeah, so Hostel Part 2, where is it? Green Inferno, Death Wish. I forgot about that one. Lots of nasty movies. And then he made The House with a Clock in Its Walls, a family movie, which is so strange. It's like Martin Scorsese making Hugo and Zack Snyder making Guardians, Legend of Guardians, also Gahul. Like, got these directors who are known for making very violent, very adult, very R-rated movies. They decide, let's make a kids movie to show that we have, I guess, range. I guess I don't know, but yeah. So Eli Roth, he definitely has his fans, for his horror work. So naturally, they're going to be the first ones in line to see Thanksgiving. So yeah, Eli Roth has a fan base, so that's a pro. Definitely. Another pro is the lack of direct competition because what horror movie comes out in November, right? Like none. Because ideally you want to release a horror movie around Halloween season, fall, like September or October. That's when you really should do. I mean, you could release a horror movie at any point of the year. It'll probably do fine, but ideally, it needs to. You should do it around Halloween. It's more fitting. But this isn't Thanksgiving. This is uncharted territory. So yeah, so obviously there's no direct competition in sight. There won't be any direct competition in sight for so like what, January. So direct competition is not an issue. So that's a definitely a pro. Uh, Trying to think of another pro. I guess this next part is neither a pro or a con, but something I have to mention. This movie, some of you probably know, is actually based off of a fake trailer that was played in front of Grindhouse. And I have to go back to Eli Roth to find Grindhouse. Grindhouse, where are you? Okay, Grindhouse. So Grindhouse from 2007, it was a double feature with Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof and Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror. And the whole thing was like a throwback to like a bygone era where it's very like just old school, grimy, exploitation esque movies that, like, the way they're filmed is all grainy and stuff. It's cool. It's retro. And but the thing is, well, the thing is with Grindhouse is that, from what I've read, people on the internet were hyped about it, but that didn't mean the public was interested in it. This was back in the day where the internet was not as big as it is now. So people being online hyped up online about something, it didn't mean much. So yeah, Grindhouse flopped. It flopped hard financially, but it has a cult following to this day. And some with Grindhouse, there were some fake trailers that played in front of the movie. They're directed by various people. There was Machete. That was like probably the most famous fake trailer. There was Hobo with a Shotgun. There was Don't. There was like Werewolf Women of the SS. And then you got Thanksgiving, which was directed by Eli Roth. And that whole trailer is like one of the trashiest trailers you will ever watch in your life. It is literally just Eli Roth described it as just money shots. It's either just death or sex slash nudity. That's all it is. It's so goofy. It's so stupid, but it works. And I guess, I mean, I've heard about a Thanksgiving movie for like the longest time. I'm like, is this ever gonna get made? But then this year they decided, I guess he decided, fuck it, I'm gonna make this movie. I'm gonna put that Borderlands movie I was making, the reshoots. I'm gonna give it. I think it was Tim Miller. He just gave the reshoots to him, and then Eli Roth's like, I'm making this movie. I'm gonna do it, and he did it. So yeah, but Grindhouse wasn't exactly a hit at all. So yeah, and so that's obviously a very niche market. Like the amount of people like who would be interested in a Thanksgiving movie is like hella niche. It's not exactly the biggest market in the biggest group of people in the world. So while Grindhouse was well received, it was a flop, and it has a very much a cult audience, but it's not exactly a huge cult audience. So that's kind of a problem for a movie like this. So yeah, might as well mention that. But for actual cons, well, I can mention Thursday previews. 1 million. I mean, that's not bad for a movie that has like no. That is not exactly part of a big brand. um, but I'm trying to think of like movies. There's like no movie I could really compare this to, because it's the only one of its kind, really. So I'm trying to think what I'm not comparing it to the Marvels, that's for damn sure. Um, I'm trying to think of horror movies that I can really compare this to. That I can kind of compare it to, but it's a real struggle. um, I don't know. Talk to me. Talk to me is the best I got. Talk to me. That's the wrong one. Talk to me. Is this? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Talk to me. There's another like. Well, this is like a non-franchise horror flick made by YouTubers. Funny enough, that had a Thursday preview of 1.245 million, over 10 million. Granted, this movie came out in summer, so it had a bit of an advantage when it comes to previews. So yeah, but so there's a chance this could hit double digits, which wouldn't be too bad for a movie like Thanksgiving. So yeah, so it's Thursday previews. I think they're okay-ish for the movie this is. So it's a minor pro, I guess. Okay, cons. Uh, a movie like this, the real danger is that like this movie has this weekend and next weekend to be relevant. After that, irrelevant, worthless, doesn't mean anything anymore. And that's the danger with having a movie themed around a holiday, directly themed around a holiday. So that after the holiday is over, there's no reason to watch it. Like its relevancy is gone. I mean, there's plenty of examples of this. There's like Valentine's Day, the movie from like 2010, that had a big opening weekend, mainly because Valentine's Day was on a Sunday, so I was able to really benefit from that. Next weekend, it just fell off, fell like 70%, and it didn't even double its opening weekend. And then you got the Halloween movies, obviously, the recent ones, which opened before Halloween, so they can get a bit of momentum. And then once Halloween ends, they just die so fast. And the same thing to an extent happened to the Five Nights at Freddy's, which came out like right before Halloween, but once Halloween was over, done. No one cared anymore. And then Christmas movies, like after Christmas is over, they fall off. There's no reason to watch them. And for Easter, there's like one Easter movie, proper Easter movie. That's Hop. After Easter, died. It was gone. So yeah, so that's a problem for a movie like this. This movie's not going to have any longevity because it's directly tied to a holiday. And again, once the holiday is over, pretty much its box office is over. So yeah, being tied to a holiday, that's a big old con. So that's con number one. Con number two, well, I guess what I mentioned earlier, like the niche market, like this movie's market is very super niche. You know, screw that's a con too. It's a little too niche for its own good. I guess another con is the competition. There's movies that'll definitely do more than this, have a bit more momentum than this. You know, it's Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Trolls Band Together, Napoleon, Wish. I feel like this movie's definitely gonna fall a bit once Thanksgiving really kicks in because of all the other movies that are going to be making more money. So, yeah, that's a so competition, just general competition. That's a con, and I think that's really it. Yeah, that's it. So, opening weekend, it's expected to hit double digits. I think it can too. I think it has what it takes. So I'm gonna say 10 million. Yeah, just 10 million. It's total. Oof. um, I don't expect long legs at all. Again, after Thanksgiving, this movie's gonna die a death. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't double its opening weekend. So I'm gonna say 20 to 25 million. I'm gonna go with that. 20 to 25 million total. Which for a movie that costs like 15 million, that's not great, but I sure should see this becoming a cult classic. And it should be a cult classic because after watching it, yes, I did watch this movie. Thought it was quite good. It definitely has cult classic potential. So, yeah. So that's it for Thanksgiving. We got one more movie to discuss this weekend, and it's over, and that's Trolls Band Together. So, stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. We'll check out more videos like this. I got playlists on the homepage, all previous um, prediction videos I made this year. You want to watch any of them or any ones I've done the past few years, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. Thanksgiving, I talked about one time, and that's when it got its date. That was episode, let me see, 184. I talked about it alongside Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Dreamin' Wild, and Rally Road Racers. So I talked about it alongside those. So that was 184. So there's that episode. And there's also I just made an episode like yesterday about Dune Part 2 and First Omen. That's episode 219. So you want to watch any of the past cancel episodes I made, you want to watch them all, any like you want to binge them all from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that, so go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. November recap will come out the beginning of December, the first week of December, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.